Step into a world where magic flows through generations, where wisdom is whispered across time, and the unseen shapes the lives of those who dare to listen. Welcome to Witchblood, the legacy of mystics, healers, and seers. In this journey, we uncover the hidden histories of those born with extraordinary gifts, women and men whose knowledge of herbs, visions, and arcane arts has shaped communities and cultures alike. From ancient rites to modern practices, we explore the threads that connect past and present, science and spirit, skepticism and wonder. Prepare to witness the power, mystery, and enduring legacy of Witchblood. Witchblood, the legacy of mystics, healers, and seers. In the shadows of history and the margins of the ordinary, there exists a lineage often whispered about yet rarely understood. Those who carry the legacy of mystics, healers, and seers. This lineage, sometimes referred to as Witchblood, is not merely a title, but a profound inheritance. It encompasses a tapestry of abilities, responsibilities, and connections that stretch across generations, connecting the past to the present, the material to the mystical. To explore Witchblood is to journey into the essence of what it means to inherit a spiritual and magical legacy, rooted in both the human and the supernatural. Origins of the Witchblood lineage. The concept of Witchblood is ancient, predating modern notions of witchcraft or magic. In many cultures, there were families or clans believed to be inherently attuned to spiritual forces. In Europe, for example, certain lineages were considered bearers of wisdom and healing, often tied to specific herbs, rituals, or divinatory arts. Similarly, in Africa, lineages of healers known as sangomas or medicine people passed down knowledge orally, ensuring the preservation of sacred practices. The Americas, too, retained traditions of shamans and seers whose abilities were regarded as both spiritual gifts and communal responsibilities. What defines Witchblood is the combination of heredity and initiation. Those born into these families often display early signs of heightened intuition, sensitivity to energies, or the ability to perceive truths beyond the visible world. These gifts, however, are rarely automatic. They require cultivation, mentorship, and sometimes rituals that awaken latent abilities. Witchblood, therefore, is both nature and nurture, an inheritance that demands stewardship. The mystics, navigators of the invisible. At the heart of Witchblood are the mystics. Mystics are individuals who possess an innate capacity to perceive the hidden patterns of the universe. Unlike the more specialized roles of healers or seers, mystics often serve as bridges between the mundane and the spiritual. They explore consciousness, dreamscapes, and altered states, seeking to understand the underlying forces that shape reality. Historically, mystics were often advisors to rulers, mediators in conflicts, or guides for communities facing crises. Their insights were considered divinely inspired or the result of communion with unseen entities. In medieval Europe, mystics like Hildegard of Bingen blended spirituality with natural philosophy, offering remedies and guidance that were both practical and mystical. In indigenous cultures worldwide, mystics were revered for their ability to interpret signs in nature, communicate with spirits, and maintain harmony between human life and the natural world. Mystics in the Witchblood tradition often experience visions, intuitive flashes, and profound dreams. They are attuned to cycles, lunar, solar, seasonal, and understand the interconnectedness of all things. Their gift is not limited to perception. It extends into expression, as they translate the ineffable into ritual, guidance, or artistic creation. The mystic embodies the contemplative and interpretive aspects of Witchblood, the part that seeks to know and teach the mysteries. The healers, guardians of vital energy. Where mystics navigate the unseen, healers engage with the tangible. Healing is a central component of Witchblood, and it manifests in diverse forms: physical, emotional, and spiritual. Healers are custodians of balance, working to restore harmony within individuals, communities, and the environment. Historically, healers relied on herbal remedies, energy manipulation, ritual purification, and spiritual invocations. In Europe, These practices were sometimes persecuted under accusations of witchcraft, yet the demand for their skills persisted. In Asia, traditional medicine systems, like Ayurveda or traditional Chinese medicine, often recognize certain families or lineages as carriers of sacred knowledge. In indigenous cultures, healing was holistic, addressing not only the body, but also the spirit, environment, and ancestral connections. Witch blood healers often possess an intrinsic empathy, a resonance with the pain and joy of others. Their gifts may include energy sensing, laying on of hands, herbalism, and even prophetic insight into ailments. Importantly, their work emphasizes responsibility. Healing is never a casual act. It is a sacred exchange, often requiring ethical discernment, ritual preparation, and deep connection with the life force they manipulate. The Seers, eyes of fate and time. Seers, the third core component of Witchblood, are those who glimpse what lies beyond the present. They perceive potential outcomes, hidden truths, and the threads of destiny. Seers often manifest their abilities through divination, using tools like tarot, runes, scrying mirrors, or natural signs. But their gift transcends mere methodology. It is the capacity to read reality itself, to sense the flow of events, and to guide others accordingly. Throughout history, seers held roles of high importance, from the Oracle of Delphi to Norse Vulvas, from the Sibyls of Rome to indigenous prophecy keepers. Their pronouncements shaped decisions in politics, warfare, and social organization. Unlike mystics, who explore the nature of reality, or healers, who mend what is broken, seers engage with choice, timing, and foresight. Their power lies in vision, but it is tempered by responsibility. A glimpse into the future is not an instruction, but a warning, an opportunity for alignment or transformation. In Witchblood lineages, seers often inherit a deep sensitivity to the present moment and an ability to perceive beyond it. Their training involves quiet observation, meditation, attunement to nature, and understanding symbolic language. A seer's insight is rarely literal. It is poetic, metaphorical, and deeply intuitive, requiring interpretation and wisdom to act upon. The interconnected roles of Witchblood. While mystics, healers, and seers can be understood as distinct archetypes, Witchblood emphasizes the interconnectedness of these roles. A true Witchblood lineage cultivates all three aspects, recognizing that vision without action is hollow, action without insight is blind, and foresight without empathy is dangerous. Together, these gifts form a holistic approach to life, balancing knowledge, care, and awareness. This interconnectedness is often expressed in ritual. Ritual serves as a practical framework where mystics interpret patterns, healers restore balance, and seers guide outcomes. In ceremonial practice, one might witness a synthesis, a healer preparing a potion under the guidance of a mystic's vision, while a seer watches for signs of effectiveness and consequence. These practices are not purely symbolic. They represent lived wisdom that blends spiritual, communal, and practical challenges and persecution. Despite their profound contributions, those with Witchblood have historically faced suspicion, fear, and persecution. In Europe, women and men labeled as witches were often healers, mystics, or seers who defied societal norms. Their power challenged established authorities, both political and religious. Accusations of witchcraft frequently masked societal anxieties, misogyny, or political control. Yet, persecution did not erase these lineages. Knowledge was hidden, coded, or passed through secret teachings, ensuring survival. In other cultures, while persecution might have been less systemic, Witchblood practitioners still navigated dangers of misunderstanding or marginalization. Indigenous shamans, for instance, were often disrupted by colonial systems seeking to eradicate traditional practices. African healers faced pressures from changing social norms or religious impositions. Across time and geography, the persistence of Witchblood lineages is a testament to resilience and the deep human need for spiritual guidance. Modern expressions of Witchblood. Today, Witchblood continues, often in more subtle or eclectic forms. Many modern practitioners discover these legacies through ancestral connection, intuitive awakening, or spiritual calling. The legacy of mystics, healers, and seers manifests in diverse ways: energy healing, intuitive counseling, ecological stewardship, artistic creation, or ritual practice. Modern Witchblood blends ancient wisdom with contemporary knowledge, integrating psychology, science, and technology while honoring ancestral roots. Interestingly, the modern era has also enabled rediscovery of hidden lineages. DNA testing, genealogical research, and historical studies allow individuals to trace familial connections to mystical or healing traditions. Spiritual communities, online networks, and workshops offer spaces for mentorship, practice, and integration, echoing the apprenticeship systems of the past. The essence of Witchblood, attunement, responsibility, and service, remains central, even as forms evolve. Ethical dimensions of Witchblood. One of the most critical aspects of Witchblood is ethics. Carrying mystical, healing, or prophetic abilities demands careful discernment. Gifts can be misused, leading to harm or imbalance. Historically, those who wielded such power without responsibility often faced social consequences or personal crisis. Modern practitioners recognize that ethical stewardship involves consent, humility, and service. Witchblood is not about domination or ego. It is about alignment with universal laws, compassion, and the pursuit of truth. The ethical practice of Witchblood also emphasizes interconnectedness. Every action reverberates through community, environment, and lineage. A healer must consider consequences beyond the immediate effect. A seer must interpret visions with wisdom, avoiding coercion or fear. A mystic must remain grounded, ensuring that insights serve growth rather than self-aggrandizement. This ethical framework is as crucial as any technique, shaping the integrity and longevity of a lineage. The cultural and spiritual resonance of Witchblood. The allure of Witchblood lies not only in its powers, but in its symbolic resonance. Mystics, healers, and seers represent the potential within all humans to connect with the unseen, to heal, and to perceive deeper truths. They remind us that life is layered, material and spiritual, visible and hidden, temporal and eternal. Witchblood is a call to embrace these layers, honoring both our ancestral roots and our personal journey. Culturally, Witchblood carries the stories of survival, resilience, and wisdom. Every lineage tells of adaptation to changing societies, of secrecy and revelation, of individuals who used gifts for the betterment of others. In literature, folklore, and myth, echoes of Witchblood appear in the wise woman, the oracle, the shaman, and the healer. These archetypes are universal, crossing boundaries, and speaking to a shared human longing for understanding, guidance, and transformation. Awakening and embracing Witchblood. For those who sense the presence of Witchblood within themselves, the journey begins with awareness. Awakening often involves recognizing innate abilities, honoring ancestral memory, and seeking mentorship or study. Ritual, meditation, and practice are essential tools for cultivation. A Witchblood practitioner must balance curiosity with discipline, vision with action, and power with responsibility. Embracing Witchblood is not merely personal, it is relational. It connects the individual to ancestors, to community, and to the living world. It is a path of service as much as self-discovery. The legacy of mystics, healers, and seers is a living lineage, sustained by those willing to honor its gifts, challenges, and responsibilities. The living legacy. Witchblood is more than an inherited trait. It is a dynamic legacy. It is the convergence of mysticism, healing, and foresight, carried through generations by those attuned to both the seen and unseen. Its history spans cultures, epochs, and geographies, persisting despite persecution, misunderstanding, and societal change. Today, it continues as a vibrant thread connecting the past to the present, individual gifts to communal responsibility, and human experience to the deeper mysteries of existence. The legacy of Witchblood reminds us that knowledge, compassion, and insight are gifts meant to be nurtured and shared. Mystics illuminate hidden truths, healers restore balance, and seers guide futures. Together, they embody the profound potential of humanity to engage with life beyond the ordinary, to honor the threads of lineage, and to participate consciously in the unfolding story of existence. Witchblood is a call to remember, awaken, and carry forward the sacred heritage of those who came before, ensuring that their wisdom continues to shape the world in profound and transformative ways. As our journey through Witchblood, the legacy of mystics, healers, and seers comes to a close, we leave with a deeper understanding of the power, knowledge, and resilience carried by those who walk the path of the unseen. Their stories remind us that magic is not just in spells, but in the wisdom passed through generations, the healing of the body and soul, and the visions that guide us toward truth. Thank you for exploring this legacy with us. Subscribe, share, and continue uncovering the mysteries that linger just beyond the veil.